Hey there YouTube, I'm Wheelchair21, and today marks the return of another new Doyle's DVDs, and today we got Gosei Sentai Dairanger! Yes, we finally have an official release for Dairanger, one of the more popular, Sentais in the fandom, and it was the 17th installment, if I recall correctly, of Super Sentai. It aired in 1994, and was the source material for Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Season 2. As you can see, Kakuranger, who would eventually be the White Ranger, as well as the Chi Beasts, which would eventually become the Thunderzords. Alright, let's give you a quick rundown of who our Dairangers are. Shoji is the Tenma Ranger. He is blue. This is Ko. He will be Kiba Ranger, your White Ranger. This is Kazu. He is Kirin Ranger, who is yellow. This is Daigo, who is Shishi Ranger, green. And this is Rin, who is Ho-Ho Ranger, pink. And this is Ryo. He is obviously Ryu Ranger, which is red, our leader. And the packaging pretty much follows suit with the actual Zyuranger box, and inside follows the same suit of 10 DVDs. Each disc, though, does feature a different senshi on them. I do have to say the one who doesn't get doubled up on here is actually Mei. She actually is skipped over in later discs, as well as Kazu. And the box art is pretty simple, same kind of episode guide in your actual back of your disc covering. As you can see, Daireno, who is the Thunder Megazord, all of them set up for Wan Tiger's formation, as well as the back is, I think, another profile photo. I gotta get the disc out to show everyone, of the actual senshi, all of them together. And in this image right here is right when they're, still trying to figure out who is mysterious Kiba Ranger, that photo right there, which is in the early 20s to mid-20s of the series. So now we're going to be talking about Dairanger. Yeah, the actual series, not just the product of the DVD release. And the series starts off with Master Kaku bringing together the team. And in doing so, this is when they discover who is currently sort of leading the ground troops for the Gorma tribe. It is the Gorma tribe Munitive, which is led by Shadam, Gara, and Zydos. And they're kind of kicked to the side for a short period in the first couple of episodes by the Archbishop of the Gorma tribe, who is also the master of Iron Face Kyoryu, who betrayed the Dairangers and joined the Gorma tribe years ago. And he is actually revealed to be, Ryo's father. Yeah, he is also, that means, the previous Red Senshi. And there's a huge kind of, Darth Vader homage in this whole storyline, due to the fact that he eventually becomes good again, tries to save his son, and dies in doing so. But with his death, it helps them unlock the secrets of the Heavenly Lai Balls to summon Daireno, which is the combination of all 5 of their Chi Beasts. And shortly after that, when we get their main mecha, when we learn our main villains, and sort of get to know our main cast of 5, we start diverging into subplots such as Daigo falling in love with the Peacock Priestess of Buddha, Kujaku, who is out for revenge against Gara, who Gara is out for revenge against her, because they used to be best friends turned enemies now. Shoji meets the 3 stooges of the Gorma tribe, General Kamikaze, President Tombstone, and Telephone Sensei. And since they're outcasts, they have this weird comedic rivalry, where it always leads to, I'm going to put a bomb on you, I'm going to put a bomb on me, and we're going to battle. And if you lose this bike race, or you lose this game of baseball or soccer, you blow up, or we blow up, depending on who wins. Yeah, it's a fun game of attach the bomb to anything and die. And then we discover that the 6th Senshi is going to be this mysterious kid called Ko, because he is the one who is able to pull Byaku Shinken from the stone. Byaku Shinken, though, and he are kind of working together in secrecy, and the main team can't find out that he is a kid, because they're afraid that, Byaku Shinken's afraid that he'll be made fun of, and not treated with any respect, so he kind of does all the talking for himself and Ko, even though Ko is also living with Rin. You also find out his mother is missing for the last couple of years, and you don't know where she's been, and you find out she's been captured by the Gorma tribe, specifically Akamaru, the son of Shadam, and Ko is called out to, I shouldn't say Akamaru is called out to turn Ko into a Gorma, because Ko also has Gorma blood in him, and that if the blood is not purged by his 10th birthday, he will be consumed by the Gorma. And you find out that that is on December 24th, Christmas Eve. Anyways, as they try to rescue his mother, and they also discover that he is the Kiba Ranger, Ko just sorta doesn't understand what is truly going on, and neither does the Senshi, only to discover in the later arc of the series that Akamaru is his brother, Shadam is also his father, and it's one crazy family squabble. As well as, while they're trying to do all this, they discover that, well, there's a guy going around killing, well, martial arts masters, known as Jin. And Ryo's the one to first discover him, and they get into this huge rivalry of amazing martial arts fights. And one of the reasons is Ryo's trying to teach Jin that martial arts isn't about killing, where Jin was taught martial art is about killing, and Zydos wants him to work for them. So Zydos kind of puts it in his head that the reason he lost to Ryo is because of his love interest, so he kills the only woman who ever loved him, and then becomes this powerful super beast with, like, all these weird, crazy attacks. And he doesn't work for the Gorma. He's captured by the Gorma and turned into one. But due to the injury sustained turning into a Gorma, Ryo nurses him back to health, and they become friends, which then leads to Jin in an all-out attack trying to defeat Zydos himself and dying. When the final battle comes, or at least one of the final battle comes, where they try to save Ko, and the Gorma try to possess Ko, Dai Jinryu comes down. Dai Jinryu is this huge SOB who is the source material for Serpentera, and he just wants to bring utter destruction to Earth if there's no balance between the Dais and the Gorma. So Kaku tries to do a truce, doesn't work. He does another truce where he has to rejoin the Gorma tribe and work for them full time, and you find out that he's also a candidate to become the next emperor of the Gorma tribe, as well as Shadam, and they must battle to the death. In doing so, well, Kaku dies, Shadam wins, and he assumes full power. The Dairangers rush the palace, and you discover that most of the main hierarchy are clay dolls made by Shadam, so he could assume the power, because people didn't know that they died, and people wouldn't let Shadam become ruler if they knew they died, and he was the only candidate left. So he had to just bide his time, so he's been making these weird golems to pose as the people that died. Dai Jinryu attacks the palace while they're having their final battle and confrontation, and it's at this point when the Dairangers are practically won, they also discover Shadam is a clay golem. And then everything kind of goes to peace, and for 50 years nothing ever happens, and in an epilogue, where the Rangers are older, they discover a new Gorm attack has happened, but luckily their grandkids, played by the same actors, show up and, well, save the day, knowing that the next generation will always be there to stop them. But there is the huge middle finger of who's in command of the Gorma tribe. So that's a mystery that no one's really been able to understand or comprehend, and it's one that there are very many conspiracy theories on as to what was going on, and do the writers even know what the hell they were doing. For an overall series, the story, like I said, subplots diverge from the main plot, and the main plot seems to be a subplot. And it's very confusing nonetheless. It's hard to really explain it unless you actually sit down and watch the series, because it does get slightly confusing for some. Personally myself, after seeing it like 12 times, and as I've seen it more and more, I've been noticing the weird diverge into subplots, then back to the main plot, and then the main plot not even being a main plot until it was developed in like the mid-20s. But honestly, the actors are great. It doesn't matter if you're the main cast or the supporting cast, you're great, because if you're the supporting cast, you've been in Tokus before, and you've probably been in some of the better ones from the early 80s to the mid-80s. And for the specific thing I gotta say is, first off with the Senshi, I like all of them, but I do feel like they were missing some traits or characteristics really needed to really develop their characters. Like Kazu, his subplot was just discovering that Kameo, his friend, was really Daimugen in human form. Or Rin's being that she was an idol for an episode. But when it comes to Shoji, Ryo, and Daigo, they had pretty significant development. I believe Daigo's, though, is kind of a little bit weird because him being the serious one and him being so head over heels in love with Kujaku, he should have been more of the rebellious one, not wanting to listen to Ryo, than Shoji is towards the end of the series. And I feel like they're supposed to be the parallel of his second-in-command for Ryo, but you really don't know who is number 2 at times unless you looked at their motorcycles, because I believe the motorcycles were actually numbered in ranking, as well as the credits, I think, believe that Shoji was second, and then came Daigo. As well as, one reason I don't like Daigo too much, other than his love story with Kujaku or his fights, is he has resting bitch face for a man. And it's like he's always got a stick up his ass. But out of all my favorite of the main 5, it's really Kazu. It's his sense of style, it's his on-screen presence, and it's also the fact that he was Blackbeat, and his twin brother who portrayed his evil clone in the series was Bluebeat from Jugo B-Fighter. It wouldn't also help that I also saw B-Fighter before I saw Jetman and Dairanger, I believe. But nevertheless, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother Doyle's DVDs, if that ever happens. Yeah, Shout Factory, make it happen. B-Fighter, do it. As for our villains and supporting actors now. Daimugen was played by Yellow Owl's actor Tomihise Narasu, and Ko's mother was played by Miko Miki, and she was actually the commander in the Jetman series. And Jin, he was played by Tranza, one of the villains of Jetman, as well as Dr. Kemp in Liveman, and Lewanda in Flashman. Now, the funny thing about Yutaka Hirose, who played Jin, is he was in like 12 different tokus. And he's only played 4 times the main villain. He was only the main villain 4 times. 4 times. Or at least a main reoccurring villain 4 times. And most of them were all in Sentai. The other one was in one of the Metal Hero series. As well as he is not just being an actor, stunt actor, and stunt coordinator, he's also directed series as well as starred and guest rolled in some of the stuff he's done in Japan. Which I've seen actually some of his work due to the fact I used to have a lot of Asian stations growing up as a kid. As for our main villains like Shadam, Gara, and Zydos, well, Shadam, he went on to voice Dokuku and Shinkenger. Gara and Zydos actually reunited for roles in the Kakuranger movie as Jin and Brandy. As well as, well, Gara herself, Akiko Amamatsuri, was also in Liveman and O-Ranger. So, yeah, right there. Now, in O-Ranger, it was a small role, but I actually know it better than I do her Liveman role, seeing that I've only seen about 12 episodes of Liveman for the life of me. But, nonetheless, everyone pretty much had a cameo in another toku, or would have a cameo in future days to come. But, for the series, like I said, martial arts, fan-freaking-tastic. Special effects, fan-freaking-tastic. Acting, pretty damn good. Writing, I'd say it goes 60-40 depending on the episode, depending on the arc, and the subplots. Nevertheless, for a series, it's an 8 out of 10. For a DVD release, I will still say, like in the introduction to the video, I'm not a fan of Shout Factory's clear case, or the fact that the episode guide is the interior profile case sleeve. I would like a booklet of some sort, possibly in the future, like a small booklet or a small pamphlet that just condenses it all, so I can just navigate through the discs. I also don't like the use of 10 discs. I think that's a little too much, even though even in Japan, when they're released on single volumes, it's only 4 to 5 episodes. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a throwback to the Japanese market, or that's just how Shout Factory always is. I know with Transformers, they're able to shove more episodes onto more discs. So, I don't know if it's due to quality, due to subs, whatever the hell, I don't know. But there's probably a good explanation for it. So let's go to Gosei. When I mean Gosei, I mean, yeah, the guy from Megaforce. Which there's never ever an explanation for that, by the way. So for overall DVD release, this is a good 6 to 7 out of 10. And pretty much all I can say is, stay tuned for more Doyle's DVDs and rolling reviews here on my channel, or over at HeroTaku.com, wherever you actually choose to watch them. As well as you can follow me on Twitter and check me out over on Instagram. See you next time with more content.